And with that, the thought of the day, Mr. Juan Perez. Give it up for Juan.
Good morning. Good morning. My name is actually Juan Perez. I'm a doctor in psychology, and I'm your Director of Health and Wellness, formerly known as Mental Health. Now, you may think, there's a good-looking young man down here. How do you be a psychologist? That's a good question. That's what my mom said. I graduated high school in 1973. Most of you weren't even born. No. I graduated high school with a grade point average of 2. And I didn't give a shit about it. Did not give a shit. Only one thing I didn't give a shit about is not getting my ass kicked by these gang members and cholos that were hanging around. And I grant all of you the award for helping me become a good psychologist because I never got my ass kicked. I always talked my way out of it. Always talked. I still do nowadays. Anyway, I didn't want to go to college. I didn't want to do any of that stuff. But somebody said, hey, why don't you volunteer at USC and work in some of the departments? And I started getting into it because it was very interesting. Because school sucked. I didn't really like school at that time. So I decided I want to go to college. And my counselor said, you're not qualified to go to college. You're not intelligent enough. Something to that effect. And I did what I usually do when somebody says I can't do something. I got pissed. And I got into college. And I graduated with my bachelor's degree. And then I wanted to get my master's degree. Same kind of feedback. There's no way you can graduate with your master's degree. Look at your English. It's atrocious. You don't know grammar. You don't know anything like that. I graduated with my master's degree. And then when I went to get my doctorate, there were no Latino candidates for doctorate school in Los Angeles at the time. Realize this is a time where there were no Latino doctors, there were psychologists at all. Now, I would have been hired just to interpret, but I was dedicated to becoming this field, joining this field. And I got my doctorate degree, and I have been a psychologist since 1985. Like coming back home, coming here, even though I wasn't raised around here, I was raised at Rancho High School, the shitty school in Pico Rivera. I hated that school. Which is funny, because I've been at school like 16 years, but anyway. At that time when I was going into college, I met a group of people, and they called us Chicanos. I always liked that name, Chicano. To be kind of a rebel, to be kind of a person who goes against the grain. And Cesar Chavez was very, very important at that time. And I'll read you a quote from him, and this is the quote for today. Self-dedication is a spiritual experience. The end of all knowledge must be building up of character. We cannot seek achievement for ourselves and forget about the progress and prosperity for our community. The fight is never about grapes or lettuce, it's always about people. Have a blessed day. Upstairs for all you Dodger fans.